Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and today in this video, we're going to be talking about 1978 Washington quarters. Oh, man, that is such a odd and probably common obscure year in coinage. So the 1978 Washington quarter, yes, they made them in both Philadelphia and Denver, all right, and they also made San Francisco proof strikes as well. In this video, we're not going to talk about the proof strikes because those are more for the collectible market. They were only sold by the mint. We're going to be taking a look at coins that you can find directly out of pocket change or maybe in an old album somewhere. And I guess the real question is it worth anything? That's a great question. I'm the type of guy that would normally tell folks that, oh yeah, you know, if it's common data, it's not worth anything, just go ahead and spend it. But deep down inside, with every single date of coin ever produced in U.S. coinage, there is some sort of value, okay? And we're going to try and unlock the value of the 1978 Washington quarter by going through a little bit of data that I've collected for you guys in the event you did come across one that maybe looks a little bit nicer, or maybe there's something odd going on with it, maybe it's an error coin of sorts. Yes, we're going to address a lot of that stuff here. So like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, okay, 78 Washington quarters, both made in Philadelphia and Denver. All right, that's going to be our striking point, our talking point for this video. As always, thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notifications, and let's go ahead and dive in to the first coin on the list soon. And it's going to be this one here. So this is the 1978 P Washington quarter. All right, so there's no actual physical mint mark, which would normally pop up here from 1980 and up. 1979 P would also have no mint mark in this same area. Well, once you get to 1980, there's going to be an actual letter P right where I had my mouse pointer at. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how many of these were made, okay? There is absolutely no shortage of 1978 Washington quarters. 521,452,000 pieces were produced by the Philadelphia facility during this time. So there's quite a few of them out there, and you probably have come across these on a regular basis. And this is with all of these state quarters and national park quarters that's kind of flooding our current pocket change economy. But what if you find one that's in really nice shape? Well, that's a great question. And it really begs an answer. It does, doesn't it? I mean, if you find one that looks like it was freshly minted, obviously it has to have some sort of value. Well, they kind of do. Let's go ahead and take a look at graded coins, okay, because that's important. And a lot of people are interested in the grading aspect of these quarters. We're going to use PCGS as the preferred grading company when it comes to all of the different types of info that I'm giving you. So if you really wanted to send a coin like this to a PCGS or an NGC to get graded, to try and pop that highest grade that you possibly can on this coin, for the 1978P, the highest grade assigned by PCGS is Mint State 67 Plus, in which only one lone single solitary example exists. Now, the second highest grade for this particular coin is a Mint State 67, also with PCGS, but there are 56 of them that were graded for this particular date of coin. The highest recorded sale of this coin happens to be that one lone Mint State 67 Plus by PCGS. It was actually sold by a company named Legend Auctions May 16th of 2019 in the amount of $2,233. Doesn't that just blow your mind that something like this would even be worth a few $1,000s? There you go. That is, I would say, one of the extremes when it comes to modern coins. If it grades high enough, it could sell for a lot of money, life-changing money, such as this coin right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Denver minted example. Now, as you guys see here, there is an actual letter D. Okay, that stands for Denver. You have a Denver minted coin. Now, this one you'll notice it has a filled letter D. That's common. That's normal for this particular date. Another thing that you'll notice is that the coin overall is really well struck at the Denver Mint, and so was the Philadelphia minted examples. Those were pretty well struck as well. This particular coin right here, again, lots of them were minted, but actually there's a lot less of them compared to the Philadelphia minted coin. 287,373,152 total pieces of the 1978 D Washington quarter was produced during that year. All right, if you're interested in getting a coin like this graded, let's say you found one that is in phenomenal shape. Maybe you found one in an old album that was passed down to you at some point in the past. There you go. Your top grade for this date and mint mark combination is a PCGS Mint State 67 Plus, much like the Philadelphia example. There is only one graded at this level. But go ahead and take a look at the second highest grade, Mint State 67. 33 were graded at this level. Now keep in mind, it has to grade at least a 67 for it to be worth anything. If it grades a 66 or a 65, then you would have essentially wasted money on the grading fees. Okay, there's really no safety net when it comes to grading modern coins. The highest recorded sale of this particular coin is the one loan Mint State 67 Plus example, and it was sold on Heritage Auctions August 10th of 2016 in the amount of $1,528. So yet again, the coin has some value. All right, but also keep in mind, the last 67 Plus that ever made it out into the market, the one loan example, was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Let that sink in. It's not an easy feat. Now, if you weren't into the whole grading thing or finding high graded examples at all, well, I hate to break it to you, but there are no known die varieties that exist for both the 78 Philly and Denver minted Washington quarters. But do keep in mind, just because they don't exist doesn't mean that there's one out there waiting to be discovered. New discoveries are made, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but they're made pretty regularly in the coin business. Keep an eye out for them. If it looks funny, and it looks like a doubled die or something crazy like that, they can be worth a lot of money. And if you send them out to, Dr. James Wiles for it to become attributed as the first discovered double die for 1978, let the floodgates open. You can just simply go ahead and, ask however much money you want to for the coin, because that would be a phenomenal feat. All right. So that's varieties. So there are no known die varieties. We've established that. But how about errors? Coin errors. Okay, stuff that happens at the mint, and they look cool. All right. And you want to know how much they're worth and what you have. Well, I have 8 coins that we're going to talk about. The first one here is going to be a 1978p Washington quarter. Now, as you can see on the slab label right here, and I got both the obverse, which is the front, and the reverse of the coin, both on the same frame to make it easy for you. This one was struck 10% off center. Okay, you can see actually the off center portion right here. All right, this is a fantastic looking coin. This coin right here is sold on Heritage Auctions October 14th of 2014 for $56. There you go. It's got some value. This one is graded PCGS Mint State 62. In the grand scheme of everything, when it comes to coins, you don't necessarily have to grade these. Save your $25, $30 to grade this and just sell it as a raw coin, or keep it. It's a really neat statement piece in coin collecting. The next example that we have here is a 1978D Washington quarter. This one was struck on what they call an improperly annealed planchet. Okay, as you can tell, the coin has kind of like a bronzy, coppery color. All right, and the reason why that this happens is that these coins, before they were struck, the blanks or actually subjected to heat. All right, and that's how you anneal the composition together, so that way it's a completed coin. However, the improperly annealed planchet, these coins have been exposed to heat for a longer period of time. Okay, and during this process, the copper ions attach more of itself onto the coins, and that's why you have this bronzy, coppery color to these coins. This is an actual neat, real error. Now, this example is an NGC Mint State 66, and it's sold for $99.88 on Heritage Auctions, August 2nd of 2015. That's a pretty neat error. Keep an eye out for coins that have kind of this coppery, kind of dark, bronzy color. Okay, you might have an improperly annealed planchet error. The next coin that we have here is a 1978p. We have another Philadelphia coin. This one was struck on a 5-cent planchet. Okay, this was intended to be a Jefferson nickel at one point. However, a Jefferson nickel-sized blank planchet ended up getting mixed up with the regular Washington quarter planchets. Pretty easy enough mistake to make, I suppose. Now, this one right here is an NGC Mint State 62. This one sold for $138 on August 15th of 2010 through Heritage Auctions. All right, so with these coins, obviously, it's going to look and appear smaller than the standard size quarter. You're also going to have some of the main devices slightly cut off, like the top of Liberty has been sheared off by about 30%. All right, same on the reverse, you could tell. But this is a really neat error, okay? And these do pop up on occasion, all right? Keep an eye out for them. So this one is really cool, and this is one that probably would often get overlooked, okay? No one would even know exactly what this is. But it's a 1978p, it's a Philadelphia coin. This one was double struck and rotated in color, which means it was struck one time. And the coin didn't quite eject out of the striking chamber, and it just sat in the striking chamber ready for the next strike, and then the coin slightly rotated, and then you have another strike. Now, on this one, this is very subtle, but you can see the top of Washington's dome right here, the top of his head. And then you have other bits and pieces. You can see some letters right here, "In God We Trust." So you have a nice kind of like 40%, or not even 40, maybe somewhere around 60% counterclockwise rotation on this coin. And then you can see some of the double struckness on the reverse. You can see some of the letters right here when this coin rotated. So this is an NGC AU58. Now this one right here came straight out of pocket change. Would you believe that? This coin circulated for a while based off of this grade. This one sold for $172.50 July 11th of 2010 through Heritage Auctions. Pretty neat. Hard to believe that someone would throw away a perfectly good $172 quarter. And then here's the graded slab of that same coin. As you can see, it's in a little bit older generation NGC slab as an AU58. All right, so the next coin that we have here, this is the fifth one, 1978p. This one's really neat. Now, obviously, this is something probably you won't come across on just regular old pocket change, and that's fine. But these are very collected. All right, it's a 1978 double struck Washington quarter. Now, the second strike is 65% off center, okay, which makes it visually stunning. You have a partial date right here, all right, which is really cool. That's what makes the coin a little bit more valuable than, say, if you didn't see a second date on there. Okay, that's pretty neat. So this is an NGC Mint State 63 example, and this one sold for $293.75 June 8th of 2014 through Heritage Auctions. Now it's going to get nuttier, okay? We have a 78p Washington quarter. This one right here, as you can tell, it kind of looks like that improperly annealed error that we saw earlier. However, look at the size of this coin. There can be only one other coin that has kind of a coppery look to it, okay? And that's going to be your Lincoln cent. So this coin right here was mistakenly struck on a 1-cent bronze planchet that was intended for the Lincolns. Okay, so yet again, an errant Lincoln cent planchet somehow got mixed up with all of the quarter planchets, and the rest is good old mint error history. Okay, this is a really cool error. This one graded out at NGC Mid State 64 red brown. Okay, so it was even graded kind of like you would normally grade a Lincoln cent. Okay, they even did the red brown, attribution on there, which is cool. So this one right here was actually sold for $630. That's a lot of money. And it sold January 8th of 2018 on Heritage Auctions. This one is incredible. I looked at the price down on my sheet. I'm like, really? $630? That's a lot of money. And it just goes to show you that these things, are just wildly popular in the error community. Definitely keep an eye out for something like this. And then finally, we're going to end it off on probably what is going to be one of the craziest coins I've ever talked about. And what we have here is a 1978. Actually, we don't. Actually, we do. We might have a 1978, but there is a little caveat to this whole thing. This is a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that was struck on an already struck 1978 Washington quarter. You can actually see the 1978 of the quarter right here where I have my mouse pointer on the reverse side of the coin. And of course you could see Washington's profile. And then on the front of the coin you could see kind of like this morphing of Susan B. Anthony and the heraldic eagle. This is an incredible coin. Now with this kind of panache of an error, all right, it's got to be worth some money, all right? And it is. It's sold for a ton of money. It's an NGC Mid-State 68 coin. And this one sold for $14,100 April 29th of 2016 through Heritage Auctions. What a great way to end the video. Again, this is a nutty coin. Could something like this possibly show up in your pocket change? It could be a reality. This is an incredible error that's worth a ton of money and something that you don't typically come across, but you never know when it'll pop up when you least expect it. So that's going to do it. Hopefully you're able to get some insight on the 1978 Washington quarter along with its other quirks and nuances that you could find on this particular date. Hopefully you guys had fun. I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell for instant notifications. And most of all, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. Enjoy the hunt. Good luck. And then go ahead and find yourself a little piece of history.